There is one car I've always wanted to own, but I was always too afraid to give it a shot. Arguably one of the best sounding cars of all time. If it were ever brought up in a conversation, people just stopped what they were doing and listened. A car a lot of viewers have been begging me to get over the last 5 years. Despite the overwhelming bad rep that this car has, I just had to experience it for myself. So I did it. I bought a BMW E60 M5. After arriving in Jacksonville, Florida, I looked over the car, ran some codes, test drove the car, and closed a deal with the seller.
This is the best day of my life!
Of course, I spoke too soon. This is an E60 M5 we're talking about here. When it was time to drive off, the car took a Imagine that. Transmission light came on and it was here to stay. Well guys, no better way to buy an M5 than it being broken immediately. So we kind of knew there was already issues with the car, like going into neutral.
We're gonna try to drive it home. We were able to engage the gears through the scanner that we have, because if not, we were locked out of gears. Lesson learned. Go get an E60 M5 for cheap.
Wishing for the best.
Because we're about to go on the freeway.
It's got burbles.
Sure it does. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I don't know, bro. This car's pretty fast. All right, so the E60 made it back to the shop, surprisingly with no SMG issues and no active codes. Seems like the car just needed to be driven a little bit, and that's it. Warmed up the rod bearings, warmed up the SMG system, and we're good to go. I mean, you guys saw some of the footage. We were really giving it the beans and giving it, you know, giving it a shot. Right next to the F10, its younger brother. That E60 sounds so good. I can't wait for content on this car. This sums it all up in a nutshell, guys. It hasn't been a full day of ownership yet.
Get an E60 M5, I swear to God. These cars are just a bunch of pieces of shit, I swear. Hey guys, it starts.
Oh my God!
It's a Christmas tree.
Yeah, but look at this.
And this man's locked out of gear. Are you in neutral? No, he's stuck in neutral.
I can't go anywhere. So if you do this mod to your E90, you might get locked out of gear, you know, when you put the shifter, plus it looks stupid on the E90s.
So yesterday, how we made it from Jacksonville to Orlando is you can switch the gears through this computer.
We tried to change the relay for the SMG pump, and that's how we got back to Orlando. We put the old one back in and just cleared the faults. So now I just put a new relay in it, and the car says,
"Congratulations, you played yourself."
Now we're stuck.
It's just telling me, yeah, power supply, SMG hydraulic pump relay, shift lock, which means can't do anything. And when you try to clear faults, this is what you get. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And it doesn't even let you change the gears.
Delete fault memory. Nothing happens because the transmission fault is still there. And then we go back to clear faults. Okay. Oh, now no faults.
Oh, no faults now.
Now we have a transmo function and we can't go here.
Oh my God.
Lesson learned, don't buy an E60 M5. If you have no money, you can't fix it, don't buy it.
I guess we kind of guessed what was wrong with the car and took a gamble. And it's turning out to be a little bit more challenging than we thought it would be. We thought it was one little small thing, and it wasn't that small thing. And tried a second small thing, made it worse. And now I want to manual swap the car.
The funny thing is if the car sits for a little bit, you clear the faults,
it goes away.
Come back, you can put it in gear.
Make sure and like this video and like share it and subscribe. Hopefully I can make my money back for this turd. Sadly, this might be an SMG pump issue or a manual swap,
which requires like multiple weeks of custom work, wiring, make your own harness. But it's possible.
Somebody told me SMG2 is not as bad as the SMG1.
It's ass. It's only good when you're going really fast.
But it's also a very uncomfortable shift.
Yeah, it's like
a chiropractic session.
Yeah.
I have to push it over to the lift on the other side of the shop and see if we can see what's wrong with the damn car. I just have a bad feeling that it is the SMG pump, which is pretty expensive. The motor itself is like 900 bucks. The entire assembly uses like, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000. If you buy that new, it's like 7 grand or something like that. Crazy, because it said on the listing of this car that they had just recently replaced the SMG pump for a new one. And then when I asked him for documentation in person, he said he didn't have it because they didn't replace it. That the shop that was working on the car just inspected it. Like, well, why would you put that on the listing and lie about it? He said, oh, I don't know, I think I was typing too much that night.
That's suspicious.
So I was able to negotiate a lower price after that, thinking that we can fix it for cheap. But hey, man, I was dealt these cards. I took the hand, and I gotta deal with it. Hopefully, it'll make some really good content for you guys. All right, everybody likes drama. If you guys want to follow the journey, see how I end up being after purchasing this E60 M5. Well, enjoy it. There's plenty of videos to come. So it's the next day. You guys know what this is? It's part of a coil, which is stuck in the engine, and the car's misfiring.
Yep.
So let's add more things to this car, and we can't get it out. And Ali made another discovery.
This video sponsored by Red Bull.
No, it's not. Oh.
So the car kept throwing an IBS fault, which is the intelligent battery sensor, whatever thingy-majiggy. So it's disconnected. Now apparently the car goes back into gear. The fault's clear. And then we got new faults. Drivetrain malfunction, cylinder 6 misfire, and the coil was stuck in the cylinder. So I can't even diagnose what's wrong with it.
Yeah, it's just stuck in there, guys.
V10 and V8 issues. They all get stuck in there because people don't put anti-seize on the...
So you gotta put anti-seize on coils. Doesn't look like Delphi to me.
This is part of the coil, and it's missing a top hat. Looks like it's been there for a while because there's a discoloration between white and then this orange. So I think if we replace the coil, it should stop misfiring theoretically. But I'm not gonna pull another coil off of another cylinder because I'm sure it's gonna get stuck in there.
As well, yeah.
So we're just gonna order a new one, put it in, test drive again. We'll probably do some other
Yeah, it's alright, yeah. It took us a while, but we finally got it out of neutral, brought it to the back of the shop so we can give you guys a tour of the M5. The funniest thing happened. Try to move it again, and it's stuck in gear, this time first gear, so I can't even roll it out the damn way. Anyways, so this is a 2006 E60 M5. It's the first model that was offered here in the United States, so it's a pre-LCI. Got the factory 19-inch black M5 wheels. Color of the paint is, I believe, is silver gray metallic, which actually looks pretty nice. It's a little bit darker than the traditional silver, so it has a little bit of contrast to it. For the most part, this car is stock. There's not really a lot that's been done to the exterior other than some very untasteful things, which I'll show you guys in a bit. Stock front bumper, stock headlights. I believe that's the factory black kidney grille that was optioned out with this car. Got a weird damage going on here to the bottom side of the bumper. I'm not even sure if that's fixable. The previous owner told me there was a front lip there. He took it off and then unveiled this damage. The headlights are in decent shape. These are the factory ones, xenon adaptive headlights. Probably a little bit of compound, sanding, polishing to get them to look almost brand new. One of the first things I noticed when I saw the car was this, which appears to be like clear coat damage. Originally, when I was talking to the guy, he told me that the car was vinyl wrapped on the hood and on the roof, and it left some adhesive. So this was before I made the 2-hour drive to Jacksonville, and then when I saw it in person, I was like, dude, that's not adhesive, that's definitely clear coat filler. If it's fixable or not, I would have to repaint those two sections of the car. The car has what appears to be very cheap side markers, very ashy, dark. It's just not a quality piece. And this fake carbon fiber side grille, look at that. That should not be audible. And the carbon fiber is like brown, so this is probably just an overlay that aged really bad. I'm not sure why anybody would buy an M5 and modify it so poorly. I'm not sure if this is a wrap or not on the mirror, or if that comes like that from factory, but that's one thing that I noticed. We got a pretty significant horsepower mod right here, M-Power. That's about 5-6 horsepower to the wheel. And then we got one in the rear back here. It's about another 7 to 8 horsepower to the wheel. And then we got one on this side, guys. Look at that, a whopping 15 to 20 horsepower between all three decals. The condition of the wheels seem to be okay for the most part, from like 2 to 3 feet. Once you get closer, you'll see this weird texture going on here. I did question the seller about it, and he said that he bought, I don't know, like some 2K clear coat from AutoZone and sprayed it, which probably wasn't done the correct way. And you can kind of tell that the finish could be a lot better. And I think that these wheels are the best looking wheels for the E60 M5. I know a lot of people choose not to go aftermarket and to keep the OEM ones. So if I do decide to keep these wheels, I'm definitely gonna refinish the color and make them look a lot better than what they look like right now. Looks like the calipers were painted at one point and they just kind of slapped a sticker, a decal on it, because it's definitely peelable.
As far as the rear of the M5, there's not really much going on here other than the taillights are tinted, which don't really look too bad, but I'll probably end up removing that film. The M5 badge is pretty faded, so it's definitely gonna need a new one. The exhaust tips appear to be stock, but the exhaust system is definitely modified because it's a lot louder than stock. Not sure how much you guys can see, but there's a cutout system there, so it bypasses the muffler. But the thing is that the mechanism that I guess opens and closes it is disconnected, so it's just always open. Even with that questionable exhaust modification, the car sounds so good. The S85 just sounds good no matter what exhaust setup it has. Show you guys what the trunk space looks like, which is pretty messy because we've been taking everything apart, trying to diagnose the issue with the transmission. Overall, very good condition. There's a little toolbox area that's up here and is empty, and it looks like you have a diagram here for the fuses and the relays. I'll quickly give you guys a tour of the engine bay. I know you guys kind of seen it earlier today, but I didn't really focus on showing you guys a lot of the stuff under here. As far as the condition, the plastics and everything seem to be in very good shape. There's no excessive wear. You do got some new components here like the Vanos pumps, so those are taken care of recently. New filters, fresh coolant, and then you have 10W60 liquid moly. Again, we pulled off some of these parts to diagnose some of the issues with the car, which is why you don't see the cowl and the DME cover and stuff like that. So we did put this car on a lift off camera and we inspected underneath. There's literally 0 oil leaks coming from this engine, as expected, because it is a fresh engine swap with everything resealed and everything replaced. So that's one issue we do not have to worry about. Definitely gonna need a new cowl, which is so common on BMWs, and these windshield wiper blades are pretty clapped, so something that needs to be addressed as well. Let me show you guys the interior, which is red. You got the full leather package, so you have leather on the bottom side of the dashboard, you got leather on the top section, you got the door panels, and I'm just surprised because this car has over 100,000 miles and the leather is actually in pretty good shape, and you can recover a lot of this original color just by cleaning it very well. Even the door cards, there's no excessive wear where you just kind of lost the color. It's all there, it just needs a very good clean. And it looks like the previous owner was using some kind of oily arm roll or something, which you guys should not do. This should look matte, not shiny. And worst part is like arm roll over dirt. So yeah, that needs to be addressed. I believe these are supposed to be like the silver trims, which I seen on the trunk, so I guess they peeled off and failed, so we'll have to address that as well. But even like the plastic part, like this BMW plastic dip that likes to, you know, chip off and rub off, whatever, seems to be like in really good shape. Yeah, this car just needs a really good clean, and I think it's gonna look miles better, guys. Look at the condition of it. Even the bolster is not that bad. This one, I'm telling you guys, a little bit of cleaning would make this look really good. And then the one part I was worried about was the leather on the dashboard, because obviously that's not very easily replaceable. It's in very good shape with no wear, anything. It's just a bunch of that oily arm roll. This is like the only wear marks I can find, which obviously if you're holding the shifter, you know, your arm's gonna rest up and move around and it's gonna experience some wear. But this is just dirty. It looks like you can clean it. This one's a little bit faded, so maybe we can re-dye some of this. And as far as like the face and the plastic, you got a little bit of peeling going on right here, which is an easy fix. You just find one of these U's and replace it. Here's some of the options that I have. It looks like I'm missing a lot of options because of this blank area right here. So heated seats. I know an option is ventilated seats, so this car doesn't have that. And I know there's another option where I guess the bolsters kind of move with your body when you're driving. And I think that's for LCI cars. I'm not sure if that was offered on pre-LCI. You got the tire pressure monitoring and then parking sensors, I think. Steering wheel seems to be in very good shape too. I wonder if that's been replaced at one point. You got a little bit of wear up top right here, but it's not excessive. Let's go ahead and open this up so I can show you guys the headliner. Look at that, guys. Alcantara from factory. Very nice. Here's what the passenger side door panel looks like. It's in such good condition. Look at the black portion up top. It looks brand new. And then you got these cup holders right here, which, ooh, a lot more robust than the E90 ones, that's for sure. And you got the one on this side. Wow, I like it. So here's something quirky, as Doug DeMuro would say. There's a button that opens up the center console, and then there's a button that opens up this section here, which I'm guessing is for a cell phone. My phone doesn't fit in there, it's too big, so maybe for back in the day. Then there's a button up front that opens up this compartment section that has a vent there for climate control, which is pretty cool. And then this section of the center console, you can slide it forward and back, and I'm guessing that's just for your arm to rest. It's modular. Go ahead and switch on the car and see if I can get it out of the first gear and into neutral. All right, starts up. We are in D. Let's see if I can get it into neutral. Nope, it's definitely stuck. There goes the transmission light, guys. No neutral for us. That sucks. So I went ahead and switched off the car. Let's go ahead and try to do it again. Yeah, see, now the car doesn't even turn on. Great. Well, we're stuck.
We spent over an hour trying to get the car into neutral, and once we finally managed to do it, the battery took a shit. We hooked up the battery charger and again went through the process to get it back into neutral. Here you see us doing what probably many M5 owners have done at least once with their M5 ownership, and that is pushing it.
The face of regret.
I'm not a happy camper right now. It's not something you want to deal with when you just purchase a car. In the next video, we'll put it on the lift and see if we can further diagnose it and see what else is wrong with the damn car. There's probably a reason why not a lot of people make YouTube content with the E60 M5. It's because you can't keep it on the road. Maybe we can make it work. Help support the channel by liking, because it does make a big difference. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, with a sad face, thanks for watching. Till next time.
Yes.